Good morning. Health scare. Former First Lady Betty Ford recovering in a California hospital this morning after undergoing surgery. Stretched too thin, National Guard reservists in 4 states poised to return to Iraq for an unprecedented second tour. Is it all because the regular army is worn out? And remember this little guy? His surprise reunion with his sailor father touched hearts everywhere. The whole family joins us live today, Friday, April 6th, 2007.
From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Something about that kid makes me tear up every time I see him. Welcome to Today on a Friday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
And I'm Ann Curry in for Meredith this morning. Good morning, everybody. And on that other topic you mentioned this morning about Betty Ford, people all over this country and the world really are praying for a very beloved former First Lady.
That's right. Mrs. Ford, who turns 89 on Sunday, underwent surgery earlier this week, and she's reportedly recovering well. It is unclear, though, why she needed the operation in the first place. We're going to get a live report from the hospital coming up in just a couple of minutes. And then Diane Zamora. She is a former Navy midshipman who, along with her boyfriend, was convicted in a notorious murder about a decade ago. The victim, a teenage girl who may have been Zamora's romantic rival. This morning, she's speaking out for the first time since her conviction. It's a powerful interview. We're going to have it for you in our next half hour.
And then on a much lighter note, in fact, I really do mean lighter, everyone from 007 to the Jetsons have given it a try. Well, this morning, we've got the real deal. A guy who's going to try to soar high above New York Central Park with a jetpack strapped to his back. I mean, this is either crazy or so cool. Bottom line, though, he better have a good insurance policy. I've always wanted to try this,
Calling
Maddie.
the man from GLAD. I love it. It's fantastic. It's great stuff. Science fiction come to life.
Let's see what happens.
All right. But we begin this morning with Betty Ford, who, as we said, is hospitalized in Southern California. NBC's George Lewis is outside the Eisenhower Medical Center in Rancho Mirage, California, with the latest. George, can we narrow down at all what the possible cause of the surgery was?
No, we can't. There's nothing more than a very terse press release that says Betty Ford is a patient in the Eisenhower Medical Center where she underwent minor surgery earlier in the week. She's recovering well. No indication what the nature of that surgery was or how long her doctors anticipate her recuperation will take. Mrs. Ford, as you mentioned, is 88 years old. She turns 89 in 2 days on Easter Sunday. She was last seen on January 3rd when she laid her husband, the late President Gerald R. Ford, to rest in his hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. He died on December 26th, and Mrs. Ford had to go through a grueling series of funeral ceremonies from here in the Palm Desert area to Washington, D.C. to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And people at the time noted that she was rather frail appearing, needing help walking, sometimes using a wheelchair. Obviously, she's a beloved figure in this community. A lot of people praying for her recuperation. She is noted for founding the Betty Ford Center for Substance Abuse and also as a breast cancer survivor for helping battle breast cancer, taking on a lot of causes as former First Lady. And the Fords have been fixtures here in the Palm Desert area since 1977 after the end of his one-term presidency. So Mrs. Ford recuperating in the hospital, and we're told not to expect any further announcements for several days. Matt?
All right, George, thanks very much. George Lewis in Southern California for us this morning. It's now 3 minutes after the hour. Once again, here's Ann.
Matt, thanks. So was it a power trip? The House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is still under fire today for a controversial Middle East mission that took her all the way to Syria. NBC's chief White House correspondent David Gregory now joins us with more on this. Hey, David, good morning.
Good morning, Ann. The White House, as you know, has condemned Speaker Pelosi's Mideast diplomacy as more than mere meddling. They accuse her of making a major mistake.
Speaker. Welcome to Saudi Arabia.
House Speaker Pelosi in Saudi Arabia Thursday, the final leg of a headline-grabbing Mideast tour. Defying White House objections to her visit, Pelosi met this week with Syrian President Bashar Assad, an attempt to open a dialogue with a leader the president has sought to isolate. In a bit of shuttle diplomacy, Pelosi claimed during that meeting to have a message from Israel.
The meeting with the president enabled us to communicate a message from Prime Minister Omer that Israel was ready to engage in peace talks as well.
But Israel's Prime Minister Ehud Olmert immediately sought to play down any appearance of a Pelosi-brokered breakthrough, issuing a statement saying, quote, "What was communicated to the U.S. House Speaker does not contain any change in the policies of Israel," adding, the Prime Minister emphasized that although Israel is interested in peace with Syria, that country continues to be part of the axis of evil and a force that encourages terror in the entire Middle East. The incident created critical headlines back home. A Washington Post editorial called it a pratfall in Damascus. And Vice President Cheney pounced during an appearance on Rush Limbaugh's radio program.
It was a non-statement, a nonsensical statement. It didn't make any sense at all that she would suggest that those talks could go forward as long as the Syrians conducted themselves as a prime state sponsor of terror.
Pelosi's office insists the speaker did press Assad to end his support of militant groups Hamas and Hezbollah. This incident comes as the Democratic leadership in Congress has stepped up its involvement in foreign policy, notably in Iraq.
The yeas are 218. The nays are 212.
Under Pelosi's leadership, the House passed a measure imposing a deadline for troop withdrawal.
I will veto it.
And the Speaker has stood firm in the face of veto threats from the President.
I would extend a hand of friendship to the President just to say to him, calm down with the threats. There's a new Congress in town.
Experts say an emboldened Democratic majority is a fact of life for this weakened president. But there is a fine line.
If they push too hard, become too assertive, put into place policies that clearly are not prudent or wise for the country, box in the president, restrict the president, then I think the American people would say, okay, Democrats, you've gone too far.
For her part this morning, Speaker Pelosi is denying any accusation of diplomatic freelancing, insisting that there is no separation between the White House and the Congress when it comes to pursuing peace and fighting terrorism in the Middle East. Matt?
All right, David, thanks very much. David Gregory at the White House this morning. Let's get a little more now from NBC's Tim Russer. Tim, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt.
So let's get to some of the comments here. Vice President Cheney called Nancy Pelosi's trip to Syria, quote, bad behavior. A Washington Post editorial on Thursday called it, quote, counterproductive and foolish. An op-ed in the Wall Street Journal this morning goes a step further and suggests her trip may have actually been a felony, that it may have violated something called the Logan Act. Tim, is this the way the Democrats wanted to get off the mark in terms of foreign affairs?
No, they clearly wanted to distinguish themselves from the president's policies, but you have to be careful, as Congressman Hamilton suggested. One ranking Democrat, Matt, said we have a Democratic alternative foreign policy. That is going to be very difficult to articulate and to put into place when you don't control the White House. On the other hand, Speaker Pelosi issued a statement last night on behalf of the bipartisan delegation that she is leading. Her delegation includes Republican congressmen. She's saying she's done nothing wrong or inconsistent with American foreign policy.
Well, that's their side of the story. However, if you look back at the midterm elections, clearly some voters in this country were unhappy with the administration's foreign policy, specifically in Iraq. It's one of the reasons we think the Democrats took control of Congress. But if the Democrats and Speaker Pelosi appear to be acting irresponsibly or incompetently, and let's face it, a lot of people think she messed up on this one, what's the impact for Democrats overall?
It's considerable. The Democrats have always had a difficulty being competitive with the Republicans in the public voter's mind on national security and foreign policy issues. And if the people perceive missteps, it's going to create and underscore that perceptual problem of Democrats.
And let's go back to the point you touched on a second ago. If it's seen, what is the bigger and longer term issue here if a political party is seen as usurping presidential power in designing and implementing foreign policy?
As we learned in 1994, Matt, when the Republicans took control of Congress with the Republican Revolution, the contract with America, people voted for change. But the voters are also willing to turn that around on its head if they believe people have gone too far. That's why this debate is so important.
Let's talk about the presidential campaign. Big week in terms of announcements from the Democrats in terms of their first quarter fundraising efforts. They outraised Republicans by $30 million. What's behind that lopsided tally?
Iraq. Matt, it's quite extraordinary how much Republican money is still on the table. Democrats have been energized. They're giving to Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John Edwards, Chris Dodd, Joe Biden, Bill Richardson. Republicans have been more reserved. Their leading candidates have raised significant money, but not the amounts that is available from Republican donors across the country.
Does it also tell us there are a lot of doubts about Republicans? The Politico is reporting that former Senator Fred Thompson is now assembling, quote, the nucleus of a campaign, end quote, should he decide to run. An op-ed in the New York Sun ran calling Vice President Cheney to get into the race. So what does it say about doubts about the current Republican contenders?
Matt, 60% of Republican voters say they are unhappy with the current field. On April 18th, 50 Republican congressmen will welcome Fred Thompson to Capitol Hill to listen to him, to try to draw him into the race. They are trying very, very hard to have a new entry.
All right, Tim Russert in Washington. Tim, we'll see you Sunday on Meet the Press.
We'll be there, Matt.
All right, thanks. It's now 10 after the hour. Once again, here's Ann.
Matt, thanks. Now to those 15 British sailors and Marines back home in Great Britain today after nearly 2 weeks in captivity in Iran. Today, some are questioning their courage. NBC's Ned Colt is in London this morning with more on this. Hey, Ned, good morning.
Good morning, Ann. Indeed, many questions remain unanswered, such as how the 15 were seized, what kind of pressure may have prompted those confessions, and why they offered such effusive thanks to their captors.
Home at last, tears of relief and time with family, but also time to learn more about those puzzling confessions.
Yeah, we trespassed without permission.
There was that meeting in their shiny new suits with Iran's grinning president. One paper asks if the 15 were just too cooperative. Another declares nobody emerges from this crisis with credit.
I mean, there was the old Second World War cliche, and more than just the Second World War, all you give is name, rank, and serial number, and they seem to have given a lot more than that.
But what about Britannia ruling the seas and the legacy of the famed Admiral Nelson? Retired Colonel Bob Stewart, who commanded British forces in Bosnia, says the captives sang like canaries.
I'm embarrassed and a little ashamed. It's hardly the Royal Navy's finest hour, and certainly Nelson would be turning in his grave.
For now, the military is backing the 15.
You've only got to look at what they were saying and the way they were saying it, and it was quite apparent that it wasn't them speaking.
But there were those bags of goodies and tea, parting gifts from their captors, and final thanks.
I'll definitely promote Iran, actually. I think there's a lot of ignorance in the UK, really, about Iran and the people.
A propaganda coup for Iran, leaving some asking what happened to the British stiff upper lip.
Now, members of the crew are scheduled to have their first meeting with the media later today, when we'll likely hear more about their captivity. But for now, many here want to give them the benefit of the doubt, Ann.
All right. Ned Colt this morning. Ned, thank you.
Let's get the rest of the morning's headlines. And for that, we turn to the news desk. Ann is here. Natalie's there. Natalie, good morning to you.
And good morning to you, Matt and Ann. And good morning, everyone. The clock is now ticking for thousands of men and women who serve in the National Guard. Several brigades are likely headed back to Iraq for an unprecedented second tour of duty. NBC's Pentagon correspondent Jim Miklashevsky broke the story. Mick, good morning.
Good morning, Natalie. You know, at the rate that the active duty force is being used up and worn out by the war in Iraq, the Pentagon really had no choice but to issue the call once more for the National Guard. As the fighting in Iraq drags on into its fifth year with no end in sight, the National Guard will once more be called to war. The current plan would put 12,000 National Guard troops on alert to prepare to deploy to Iraq. That would involve 4 combat brigades from Guard units in 4 separate states. The combat deployments would be limited to 1 year and would begin in early 2008. Early on in the war, 50% of U.S. soldiers on the ground in Iraq were Guard and Reserve. But they could only be mobilized once every 5 years. That is, until 2 months ago, when the rules changed.
I think this was all concealed until we got through the election. There's no way to sustain the current rate of deployment without calling up probably 9 National Guard brigades in the coming year for involuntary second tours.
The problem is, as the war in Iraq drags on, the regular army has simply been worn out. Many combat troops are on their second, even third tours. Their equipment is being driven into the ground at 10 times the normal rate. And there are just not enough Army combat troops to carry the load. 3 Army brigades were recently ordered back to Iraq less than a year after they had left. That leaves them little or no time to recuperate or train for other possible missions.
When you only have 1 year between or less between deployments, instead of the 2 that you would like to have, you then do not train to what we call full spectrum.
A timetable so tight, 2 Army brigades headed for Iraq had to skip the usual 4 weeks of desert training at Fort Irwin, California, for similar training at their bases back home.
The stateside Army and Marine Corps are starting to unravel. Their equipment's broken. They do not have adequate numbers of high-quality people, and their training is enormously constrained.
While it's not entirely clear this morning exactly which individual soldiers will be called up, warnings have gone out to Guard bureaus in Ohio, Indiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma to be prepared to go back to Iraq for a second tour. Natalie.
Jim Miklaszewski at the Pentagon. Thank you, Jim. Off the Greek island of Santorini, 2 French tourists are missing from a cruise ship that ran aground Thursday. More than 1,600 people were evacuated, many of them Americans, after the Sea Diamond struck rocks and began taking on water. This morning, the ship sank not far offshore. Today in Jerusalem, Christians from around the world gathered to mark Good Friday, some carrying crosses, retracing the steps Jesus took on the way to his crucifixion. In New Jersey, an FBI agent was killed Thursday and may have been shot accidentally by a fellow agent. Agents were tracking a group of suspected bank robbers and opened fire as they moved in to make arrests. Special Agent Barry Lee Bush was killed. Officials believe the bullet came from another agent's gun. China says it is investigating U.S. claims that a Chinese company exported contaminated wheat gluten linked to pet deaths here in the U.S. Meantime, the recall of pet foods and treats contaminated with an industrial chemical expanded Thursday to include dog biscuits made by an Alabama company and sold by Walmart under the Ol' Roy brand. The IRS says hundreds of its laptops containing sensitive information have been misplaced or stolen in recent years. Over 2,500 taxpayer identities and other data are at risk. And an Ohio man is facing drunk driving charges and other charges in an incident you've got to see to believe. When he was arrested, the volunteer firefighter was wearing a string bikini, a woman's wig, and pink flip-flops. He told police he was on a way to compete as a woman in a contest at a bar. It is now 7:17. Back over to Matt and Ann.
A decision
that
he
mugshot
certainly
priceless.
regrets.
They're going to have some fun with that at the old firehouse, aren't they?
Yeah, well,
Not
he's
wearing
on
that
leave
bikini
for a
well
little bit.
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Natalie, thank you very much. Mr. Roker, we've always said he's a jet setter, and this morning he is proving that point in Central Park. Al?
Hey, Matt, and we've got, it's like the Jetsons. We are going to be in about a half hour watching Rocket Man take off here in Central Park. You don't want to miss this. Wake the dog, get the neighbors around the TV. But before we do that, let's take a look, show you what's going on. Winter just does not want to go away. It has just been snowing like crazy. Parts of Michigan, 3 feet of snow or more. As you get into Marquette, they're talking about 33 inches of snow. Wilton, Maine, 18 inches of snow and more falling today. We're talking about some areas around the Great Lakes picking up 1 to 3, as much as 6 inches of snow and some light snow up in northern New England. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Oh, thank you very much. We had a cold front move through overnight. It brought us some rain and some thunderstorms offshore, but we are getting better by and by. We still have some cloud cover courtesy of the front, but a lot of that will move out as we get into the afternoon. Let's go to the maps. There's the front. It is moving through, and again, we had some morning showers. Few showers will stick around, but by afternoon, things should get better. All right, as we go into the nighttime hours, dropping down into the 50s, 57 for the overnight low tonight, so it is going to cool off. High temperature today, 81.
Blast off in T-minus 20 and counting. Matt?
Now, you're not going to try that thing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. We look forward to seeing you in the skies above Manhattan now. A new study by the U.S. Department of Education questions if high tech really helps kids get high grades. That story now from NBC's Kevin Tibbles.
The study questions the rush many schools have made into the world of high tech.
I want you to click on Start.
Department of Education researchers found student achievement scores in classrooms using computer software were no higher than in classrooms without it.
I think this report affirms once again that the role of the teacher is paramount and critical to learning in our classrooms. That technology, we hope, can play a supporting role in that. The jury's still out.
They use computer learning at Grainwood Elementary School outside of Minneapolis.
It just kind of helps you learn easier. It makes it a lot more fun.
And while these kids weren't part of the study, the school says computers are a useful tool.
When we use technology in the classroom, we use it to engage the students in the lesson.
But at what cost? Should schools in cash-strapped districts be laying out on average $100 per student per year to use the software?
I would be a cautious investor. I think we need to make sure that we don't have too great expectations about what technology really can and does offer our schools.
Educational technology is also part of a student's day at Edmonston Elementary in suburban Los Angeles. The school software supplier disputes the study's results.
Kids don't go to college today without a computer. So you certainly want to give kids every opportunity to learn how the computer can support and increase their achievement.
What all agree on is that when it comes to the 3 R's, you need a good teacher in the classroom.
21, you got it. Good job.
Whether there's a computer there or not. For today, Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Chicago.
Still ahead, the woman at the center of one of the most notorious crimes of the past 15 years, the Texas cadet murder, speaks out from behind bars. Her shocking story in our next half hour. But first, on a Friday morning, this is Today on NBC.
I'm not some witch. I'm not some evil-hearted person. Not even close.
Your morning coffee, a balanced breakfast, corporate presentations, taking mass transit. Mornings, they can be full of choices. For early morning news, there's only one choice.
It's a new day!
Today in South Florida, Bob Mayer, Pam Gigante, and meteorologist Ryan Phillips. Weather, plus traffic, and all your morning news. NBC 6, today in South Florida, your choice for morning news.
Claire was born with multiple life-threatening heart defects. She needed open-heart surgery to save her life. At Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, we want the very best for your child. Our world-class children's hospital combines leading-edge technology and the expertise of a highly trained medical staff. Today, Claire is a healthy and vibrant little girl with a bright future. For a physician referral, call 866-JDCH-DOC. Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, simply the best.
Getting ready to trade in your car?
Yeah, I'm getting a new car, but I'm nervous about the whole trade-in game. I just wish I could avoid it completely. That's one more hassle I don't need.
If you're in the market for a new car but have a car you need to sell, come to CarMax first. We'll make you a cash offer for it on the spot so you have the upper hand. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. Sell your car to CarMax. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
Still haven't gotten your tickets to see The Lion King? Well, South Florida, what are you waiting for? The Lion King begins performances April 19th, and the time to get your seats is now. Because the best seats are going quickly. Because South Florida's biggest musical hit won't be here forever. Because Broadway's landmark entertainment event must leave on June 3rd. The Lion King. Call 954-462-0222 today.
Still ahead, how to tell if the fruit on your breakfast table is safe from contamination.
And then a jetpack that could have you flying like, yes, George Jetson. Al's in Central Park. He's going to check that out. But first, your local news.
Ready for the most amazing Miracle-Gro results ever? Spectacular plants without all the weeds. Introducing Miracle-Gro Shake and Feed plus Weed Preventer. Now just a few shakes stops weeds before they start. Plants grow twice as big with virtually no weeds, even in your vegetable garden. Want 3 months of feeding and freedom from weeding? All you need is new Shake and Feed plus Weed Preventer.
Well, you shake it to the left.
We believe in hips.
You shake it to the right.
Not hip bones. Slim Fast helps you lose weight so you can get to your right size, not someone else's. Slim Fast. Find your slim.
The new glamour is bold. It surrounds you in luxury, in a style that is timeless. Introducing Modern Glamour by Ethan Allen. Classic design, modern perspective.
Just clap, clap, clap your hands to the beat. Come on!
If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, whoa. If you love it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. Wanna win it? Come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah.
From South Florida's news leader, this is NBC6 Today in South Florida.
The U.S. Postal Service in Miami conducting a probe into who printed an envelope with racist language on a label and then mailed it. The postal worker said she found the coupon envelope apparently for Huggies diapers as she was sorting mail. The label used the N-word and was addressed to a home in Miami Springs with a bulk mailing company in Iowa. Upstairs to Hugh Nolan now with traffic.
Thank you, Bob. We are looking at a collision eastbound on Pembroke Road just after I-95. It has been reported as an injury accident, not affecting the ride too much, and Broward County pretty much is accident-free. We've only had minor collisions throughout the rest of Broward so far this morning. On I-95 in Miami-Dade, we're looking good as well. We do have a couple of serious accidents in Miami-Dade. We have on Miami Gardens Drive at Northwest 22nd Avenue a pedestrian accident that has closed northbound 22nd Avenue. Also a collision at Tamiami Trail and Southwest 137th Avenue. Turning to the Dolphin and the Palmetto, eastbound on the Dolphin, we've got a collision at Red Road, and you can see those eastbound delays to the left of your screen, pretty much building all the way from Galloway to Red. On the eastbound Palmetto, we had an earlier accident, shut things down at 441, but everything is open now. That's your latest traffic. Here's Trina with the weather.
Hugh, thank you so much. And we have some dark skies out there. We had a cold front move through overnight. We still have some lingering clouds and some storms sitting offshore, not onshore. So these clouds may produce a few showers this morning, and there is the front. Once it gets out of here, we'll have a pretty decent day. We're going to see some cooler temperatures tonight, though. We'll drop down into the 50s. So sunny weekend once we get past today. Today, high temperature of 81 degrees and pretty decent. All right, here's Bob.
That is going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. I'm Bob Mayer. See you in a half hour.
Ideas. That's what Commissioner Bill Kerdike brings to Coral Gables. He founded Partnership to enhance city parks and preserve open space, saving taxpayers millions. He started the trolley system to keep thousands of cars off our streets at no cost to city residents. And he led efforts for new turning lanes and landscaping on Ponce de Leon Boulevard to improve traffic flow. On April 10th, keep Bill Kerdike's ideas working for us.
Hi, South Florida. Join me today at 11 right here on NBC 6.
7:30 now on a Friday morning. Good Friday, April 6th, 2007. Hope a lot of you people have a nice holiday weekend. And these are some people enjoying perhaps the last day of their spring break. We're going to go outside and say hi to them in just a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, inside Studio 1A, I'm Matt Lauer along with Ann Curry. Ann is here because Meredith is off this week. We'll see her next week.
Yay.
And a quick update now. On Thursday, we showed you a story I love, I have to say, a new basketball sneaker that goes for a mere $15. It got a huge response online, so we asked some people, how much would you spend on sneakers? 2% of people said $150 or more. 1/3 of you answered from $80 to $100, and 2/3 would spend $50 tops. $15 sounds awful good compared to those prices. Anyway, coming up in this half hour, how would you like to fly through the air with the greatest of ease? Well, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to show you how you might be able to do that with your own personal jetpack. There's the view from Central Park.
See this. I'm a little nervous about it, though.
Probably
too,
a ways away from seeing these widespread, around
the air traffic
cities.
controllers for that. Anyway, also coming, we'll be talking about how safe your fruits and vegetables are, the ones you eat every day, because in the wake of that E. coli outbreak last year, a lot of people are asking that question. We're going to check out every step of the way that these vegetables and fruits go from the farm to your kitchen.
All right, and a little later on, we're going to catch up with this family to see how everyone's doing after their emotional reunion that had everyone talking. A 6-year-old boy surprised by his sailor father just home from Iraq, and we got a great response to that piece of video. We'll check in with the family coming up.
It's emblematic of what's happening in so many families these days. Anyway, but first, it was one of the most notorious crimes of the 1990s, the so-called Texas cadet murder case. Teenagers David Graham and Diane Zamora were among the best and the brightest. He at the Air Force Academy, she at the U.S. Naval Academy, when they were arrested for murder. Both confessed and were convicted. Well, now, 10 years later, in her first interview, Zamora sat down for an explosive interview with NBC's Stone Phillips.
What do you want people to know about you?
I'm not a killer. And that I'm not some witch. I'm not some evil-hearted person, not even close.
What happened along this country road in Grand Prairie, Texas, in the early morning hours of December 4th, 1995? Did Zamora and her boyfriend David Graham plan and carry out the murder of 16-year-old Adrian Jones, just as they confessed? Did Zamora demand the killing in a jealous rage after Graham said he'd been unfaithful to her with the victim?
What's your version of what happened that night?
I don't like to talk about it. And it's something I hoped I wouldn't have to talk about. Because it's not something you want to remember. It's not something you want to relive.
But reliving and retelling it is Zamora's only hope of explaining away her own damning words.
In your confession to police, you said that you had hit her with a dumbbell. Mm-hmm. That you'd struck several times, you had missed her several times, and then finally landed one blow.
And that she had run out of the car with that blow to her head and across the street.
According to Zamora, all those details from her confession were lies.
So you're claiming she was not hit in the head when she left the car.
Mm.
Where are you saying she was first struck in the head?
In the field.
By David, with the pistol.
I saw the crook of his arm come down, and then I heard the gun go off.
But there was blood in the car.
Yeah.
On the passenger side door.
Mm-hmm.
Police believe she did bleed in the car, that she was struck in the car.
Well, he brought her back to the car. I think to tease me or to taunt me. And I don't know how alive she was when he brought her back. I just knew that she looked dead to me, and I don't know how long it took her to die. I saw her hair. And I saw blood. And I wasn't really trying to get a good look at her. I was terrified, and I was crying.
This is much more likely. During her trial, prosecutors argued that Zamora did hit Adrian with the weight.
Let me ask you this. No matter
But defense attorney John Linebarger pressed the medical examiner about the shape of Adrian's skull fracture and the object most likely to have caused it.
I have seen one object that is consistent with those dimensions and that configuration, yes, sir.
Okay, and what is that?
It is the butt of a semi-automatic pistol.
I didn't go out there with the intention of killing her. And when he did that, I didn't know what to do. He said he did it because of me. That it was my fault, that I made him do it. And that's what he told me immediately after I made him do this.
How did you get through the months after this murder, knowing what had happened?
I did, attempt suicide a couple times. I tried overdosing on some of my pain medication. And David stopped me. He repeatedly stopped me.
Because this was eating away at you?
All of it. I kept thinking about it. And when I would try to talk to him, he would say, oh, no, the house could be bugged or the car could be bugged. And there was no one to talk to. There was nothing I could do.
Maybe you should have gone to police immediately.
I know that. Now I know that. But at the time, I was thinking with my heart, not my head. More than anything, though, I wanted to protect him.
Protecting Graham or protecting herself, Dateline arranged for Zamora to take a polygraph test, and the results were dramatic. You can watch the full story on a special Dateline, A Deadly Mission, on Sunday at 7, 6 Central, here on NBC.
Let's get a check of the weather now from Al Roker, who's a few blocks north of us here in Central Park. Hey, Al.
That's right, up around 100th Street and 5th Avenue, and we got some dog park folks getting together and hanging out, but for the most part, it is cold, but still not quite as bad as it is in New England, where they got winter full-blown, ladies and gentlemen. But as you take a look right now, you can see the tale of two seasons. We've got temperatures that are awfully cold. You got 25 in Cleveland, 31 in Raleigh, 26 in Burlington. Highs today only getting up into the 50s in Atlanta and in North Carolina, 30s in Cleveland and Chicago. But you move to the west, and temperatures are way up there. Las Vegas, 91, Phoenix, 93, Medford, Oregon, getting up to 70, make that 81 degrees. Rest of the country, not too bad. We are looking at some sunshine here in the east, but boy, is it cold. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Al, thank you much. And we've got some dark skies out there. This is still the leftovers from that cold front that came through last night. It'll completely clear the area later on this morning, but we may see a couple of showers before it does. Let's go to the maps. We have seen a couple of AM showers, particularly offshore thunderstorms. Cooler air is moving in. Tonight we will be in the 50s, but we are setting up for a sunny Easter weekend, and things will get better as we move through the day today. So high temperature today of 81 degrees under partly sunny skies.
All right, that's your latest weather. Ann?
All right, thanks a lot, Al. So were you watching the Bill O'Reilly show last night? Because, you know, there was a big moment, apparently. He and Geraldo Rivera were getting ready to, it looked like they were getting ready to knock each other out when they started arguing about an illegal immigrant who was charged with in a fatal drunk driving case. Let's take a look.
We have for decades lured them here, and now we're starting a mob scene. You want your viewers to go knocking on people's door to door. Are you an illegal? I'm going to take you outside and do something.
I want the law enforced.
History have seen what happens when you single out people like that.
I want the law enforced, and you don't.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I know. They got really angry. And I think that at the end, what I'm understanding is they felt that they had gone overboard, maybe. And they tried to make a little peace.
A little bit of a civil note. Rivera took the opportunity, it says here, to talk about how fair and balanced Fox has been in reporting issues like this. Yeah. And so I guess they kind of kissed and made up.
Whenever we lose it, we portray it.
We go outside and settle it. There's no question. Behind cameras.
Anyway, still coming up here on Today, that special bond between mothers and daughters. We're going to meet some women who found a unique way to nurture it through some of those tough teenage years. But up next, from farm to fork, just how safe are the produce you serve your family? We're going to find out right after this.
Smoking increases the number of receptors in your brain that thrive on nicotine. Take their supply away, they go mad. Nicoderm CQ weans the beast off gradually and helps give your willpower a fighting chance.
Do raisins have brains? They're kind of wrinkly, and wrinkles are a sign of wisdom, right? Plus, they're in this new Smart Start cereal, which is called Smart for a reason. It's designed to help lower cholesterol, and it has potassium and low sodium to help lower blood pressure, too. So if it's letting all these raisins hang out with it, raisins must be pretty smart. I know cinnamon's probably no dumb either.
New Smart Start Healthy Heart Cinnamon Raisin from Kellogg's. For your heart, start smart.
Of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm heart of your love and mine. To feel you all around me and to take your hand along the sand. I bet I may as well try and catch the wind.
Capturing the wind and putting it to good use. Wind energy from GE. Some of the cleanest renewable energy on Earth.
7:40 now, and from time to time we're addressing a very important question. How safe is your food? Today we're talking about produce. You probably worried more in the past about your meat and chicken being contaminated than your fruits and vegetables, but not anymore. From farm to fork, how is your produce being protected? You walk into the grocery store and they're everywhere. Bagged salads, bagged spinach, fresh cut, ready-to-eat fruits and vegetables. It's a convenience consumers are eating up. Prepackaged produce is the fastest growing segment of a $12 billion a year industry. But it's a new frontier for those responsible for keeping food safe.
We realized that we didn't really know as much about handling fresh cut products, ready to eat products, as we did with meat and poultry.
After last year's high profile spinach E. coli scare that killed 3 and sickened around 200, many consumers grew concerned. From farm to fork, where can things go wrong? Taylor Farms in Yuma, Arizona is a salad processing company. They were not involved in last year's E. coli recall.
Taylor Farms produces all different kinds of salads, spring mix, lettuce, broccoli, cut vegetables of all kinds.
Including spinach. The process starts on the ranch, where farmers prep soil, plant seeds, and water crops.
Growers need to make sure that they're employing good agricultural practices and really adhering to them.
FDA officials say contamination most likely starts at the farm. Potential sources: contaminated water and manure, wildlife in the field, and improper hygiene by farmers. All can transport bacteria.
We make sure we don't get contamination in the field. We test the water, we test our soil, and we make sure that people are properly trained in how they operate in the field.
After a 45-day period on the farm, the spinach is ready to harvest.
This is a harvester which automated the harvesting process.
The Terminator, as they call it, is made from stainless steel because it's easy to clean.
Prior to going into the field to harvest the product, we sanitize this piece of equipment.
They even swab it to check for anything that might contaminate the crop.
We check for any kind of micro or dirt that might be still left on this piece of equipment.
The machine harvests 6,000 pounds of spinach an hour. It's then put into bins and loaded onto a transfer truck. About 30 minutes away from the fields, the processing plant. As soon as the spinach is brought into the facility, it's cooled down and kept at 36 degrees. This helps prolong the shelf life and keeps bacteria at bay. The product is then dumped into a jacuzzi-type washing system. The spinach is triple washed, twice with chlorine to kill any bacteria, and rinsed with only water at the end. It's dried, then packed, then transported to the grocery store within 24 hours, kept cold until it gets to you, the consumer.
The transportation industry has to realize that proper refrigeration of the trucks adds to the food safety steps as well.
But once it leaves the farm and enters your fridge, food safety is now in your hands. Madeline Fernstrom is today's diet and nutrition editor, as well as an iVillage contributor. Madeline, good morning.
Good morning,
So
Matt.
let's take it from the point where it now arrives at your home, and let's talk about tips for consumers.
Of course.
First thing you have is check. What do you mean by that?
You don't want to check, you want to observe all of the fruits, make sure there's no bruises, the color is good, and check that expiration or use by date, because you must toss it if it's going to be used, because stuff can look okay, but you have to get rid of it if it doesn't.
And then clean. If there is somehow bacteria on the pre-processed vegetables and fruits we get, can you wash it away?
You can wash it off under running water. That will really help. It'll reduce the bacteria. I mean, food isn't sterile. You always have a little bit, but it's important to wash your hands, and not just a few swipes with some soap. You need to wash for 15 or 20 seconds thoroughly.
Separate. In other words, don't cross-contaminate. Watch what utensils you use with chicken and meat and everything else with your vegetables. Cook. What temperature do you have to get to make sure you've killed everything?
Okay, you need to boil that. You need to have simmering or boiling water to make sure you're either going to microwave or boil those.
Chill. Keep fruits and vegetables cold.
You have to keep them cold, and you have to get a refrigerator thermometer, 40 degrees or less. You can't look at that dial that says cold or colder. It won't work.
And you know what? Err on the side of caution. Throw something out if you don't like the way it looks.
If it doesn't look good or smell good, or if it's expired, learn to be a thrower.
Still, though, when we look at the vast amounts of fruits and vegetables we consume, contamination cases and illnesses are minuscule, aren't they?
Minuscule, very few. Don't cut down your consumption of fruits and vegetables. At least 5 a day. That's really important.
Madeline Fernstrom. Madeline, thanks very much.
You're
Appreciate it. And up next, Rocket Man. Can this guy fly for a long, long time using a jetpack? We're going to give that gizmo a try in New York Central Park right after this.
Hot soup, $4. Cold medicine, $11. Blanket, $24. Making it all better. Priceless. With PayPass on your MasterCard, just tap and go.
The phenomenon you are about to experience,
folks, I'm worried that this is a plague,
has no explanation and no warning.
We need to evacuate this town.
It's too late for that.
The Leaping, rated R, now playing.
You never know.
I'm talking about name brands.
It's a rush.
For cheap.
Yeah, and they go fast. Like this Charbroil gas grill for only $114 this week only. You should definitely go to every cloth store.
You never know.
For the latest in lip enhancement, stay home. Avon introduces a new clinical plump and smooth lip system. One side plumps, adding fullness, the other smooths lines around the mouth. So call your Avon representative and order a new clinical plump and smooth lip system.
Commanding dozens of men under the most critical circumstances, Jim is a formidable man. But he was no match for something smaller than a drop of water. It KO'd Jim so fast he didn't know what hit him. It was a clot. Like Jim, if you've been hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS, chances are you've had a clot. But now, Jim's doctor is helping increase Jim's protection against heart attack or stroke by putting Jim on Plavix. Plavix, in combination with aspirin and other heart medicines, helps provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke than aspirin and other heart medicines alone by helping keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you shouldn't use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. To minimize this risk, talk to your doctor before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Ask your doctor about Plavix today, because no matter how formidable you are, you're no match for a dangerous clot. If you take Plavix with aspirin, continuing to do so will help increase your protection against a future heart attack or stroke. Beyond aspirin and your other heart medicines alone, you may be feeling better, but your risk never goes away. Help stay protected. Stay with Plavix.
Ever wanted to soar into the heavens? Well, Al's up in Central Park where there is a guy with a jetpack ready to give it a try. Al, I'm really nervous about this.
That makes two of us, Ann. Not the only one. But, hey, you know what? If this goes wrong, well, Jeff Ranieri is going to have a new career. Anyway, since ancient tries, people have wanted to fly. Let's face it, you flying like Superman is kind of like a Cloud 9 rated experience. Yes, sir. Well, imagine propelling yourself point to point via backpacking rocket power. But just how far off is it? It's closer than you think. .007's daring escape was the first time most Americans saw the amazing rocket belt. But actually, it was developed for the United States Army in the late 1950s as a way for soldiers to fly into battle.
Just the thing to get you to work on time.
Through the years, we've seen the rocket belt, also called a jetpack, on the big screen.
Let's take the jetpacks.
Cool! On TV.
I'm going up.
Well, there he is, Jetman. And even the Olympics.
I'll race you home, Astro. All right.
And now, once again, there are promises that you, too, could soon be flying around like the Jetsons. And joining me now is Eric Scott, the jetpack pilot, and Troy Widgery from Jetpack International. So Troy, you're planning in about a year to start selling these things.
Correct, a longer flying version.
And this is, right now, how long will Eric be able to get up generally?
This is the longest flying machine in the world ever, 33 seconds.
33?
He likes to land with some fuel, so probably 20, 25 seconds.
Eric, what's the fuel in this thing?
It's hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. We like to call it Go Fast.
So is it the same hydrogen peroxide you buy in the drugstore?
Similar, but about 95% stronger.
So now, strapped on your back, is it flammable? What is it? What makes you go up?
It's not flammable. The fuel decomposes by being forced over a silver catalyst bed. It turns the peroxide into superheated steam.
All right.
So this is just steam and totally environmentally safe.
And Troy, once these things are marketed, how much are you going to cost?
The turbine model will cost about $200,000.
Wow. And how long do you have to train for this, Eric?
About 3 months worth I got it taken care of.
Any bad accidents?
Yeah, about a year into it. That was enough for me, though.
Okay, well, with that note, Eric, take it away. Good luck.
Sounds good, Al. Here we
Okay.
go. All right.
See you on the other side.
You ready? All right.
Here we go. Eric Scott, jetpack pilot. All righty. In 3. Wow!
Perfect.
Congratulations, Eric.
All right.
That's what. So how'd that go the way you thought it would?
Exactly as planned.
Unbelievable. So that's all. You look at that mud on the floor. That's all steam and all that.
Yeah, that's pushing that up out of the ground, actually.
And I got to tell you, guys, I cannot tell you. I don't know if you could hear it. This is about as loud a thing. It's almost like a jet engine.
It is. It's about 150 decibels.
Were you a little nervous there, Troy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Al. Hey, Al.
Yeah, guys.
Does the pilot have like a loud clock in his ear so he can tell how long he's been up so he doesn't run out of fuel?
How do you Matt wants to know, how do you know how long you can stay up? Do you have some sort of a gauge that tells you how long?
This does. I actually just reset it. I didn't push that there so you guys could see it. But this was a short enough flight. I didn't really so much worry about the time. If I'm taking a distance, I'll usually check the time, but it's a 30-second stopwatch, basically.
Eric Scott, Troy Widgery, congratulations. Way to go. And just think, we'll be flying to work, Matt, in the next 6 months. You and me, baby.
No, you'll be flying to work.
Probably wearing special outfits and everything.
When we come back, more on that emotional reunion, a sailor and his son. Sailor coming home from Iraq after your local news.
This holiday weekend, spend some quality time with the family.
I think you're a cool son.
And you're a cool dad.
Do some fixing up.
Are you sure that's safe?
Of course it's safe.
And treat yourself to the funniest, craziest, wildest comedy of the year. It's the perfect family entertainment.
Hey there, little buddy.
Are we done yet?
I got it!
Rated PG. Now playing.
I was in a fairway bunker. 6-iron. Downwind, 216 yards away.
I saw him take a deep breath.
Till sucker flag over water with the tournament on the line.
This is some guts right here.
This is right on line. What a shot!
Confidence on the golf course is a beautiful thing.
Confidence on the road is a Buick thing. Introducing the Buick Quality Advantage. Now, every 2007 Buick offers OnStar Vehicle Diagnostics, an automatic check of your vehicle's key systems with a monthly email report. That's the Buick Quality Advantage.
I drive it every day.
Get the advantage. Go to Buick.com to learn more.
Oh! Pick up a family pocket of chicken.
Do I look happy, Emerson? Do I look happy? I need those family parties.
Fit has a feeling and a water. Propel, the fitness water.
We're running late for school, guys. Drive through it is.
Hey, Dad!
Hot Pockets brand breakfast sandwiches are a great way to get a hot breakfast on the go with real scrambled eggs and a delicious flaky crust.
Hot Pockets!
Only 2 days left to get these must-own DVDs for Easter. The all-new movie Cinderella 3.
That was my slipper.
And Walt Disney's original classic, Peter Pan.
Come on, Hank.
The perfect Easter gifts on Disney DVD today.
If you have a history of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription treatment for COPD. Spiriva keeps airways open to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours. And it's not a steroid. Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor about your medicines, including eye drops and illnesses like glaucoma, urinary and prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. If you have vision changes or eye pain, your breathing suddenly worsens, you get hives, or your throat or tongue swells, stop taking Spiriva and contact your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. So make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
BrandsMart USA presents a huge new world of savings just in time for spring. E-Tech's top-loading DVD player is $18.88. Get a GPX home music system for $18.88. Sony's AM/FM CD car stereo with detachable face is just $64.88. A digital camera from Kodak or Vivitar is a low $78.88. Get a digital camcorder from JVC or Canon with 2.7-inch LCD for just $228.88. And a progressive scan home theater system for Panasonic is just $348.88. BrandsMart USA. Of course, your favorite brands at low, low prices.
Buying the BrandsMart way. NBC6 Weather Plus Doppler Radar brought to you by the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida. From South Florida's news leader, this is NBC6 Today in South Florida.
Good morning, I'm Bob Mayer in the NBC6 newsroom. Police investigating a mysterious murder after a woman finds her mother dead in a Westchester pharmacy. 46-year-old Juana Gonzalez's daughter went to check on her and her job at Yomi Pharmacy at 82nd Avenue and Bird Road. When she got there, the 21-year-old found her mother dead. Detectives say the woman's 2006 Lincoln Navigator is missing. China says it has nothing to do with the pet poisoning in the U.S. It has the FDA blaming a Chinese supplier for shipments of contaminated wheat gluten. This as the pet food recall has now been expanded to include dog biscuits sold under the Sunshine Mills label. Menu Foods is also broadening dates and varieties of its recall. Now time for a look at traffic with you, Noah.
Thank you, Bob. We've had a serious accident involving a pedestrian. This is Miami Gardens Drive and Northwest 22nd Avenue. It has closed down the lanes on 22nd Avenue northbound while the investigation is ongoing. Turning now to the Dolphin and the Palmetto, we've got a northbound collision on the turnpike just after the Dolphin. On the Dolphin, an eastbound wreck at Red Road. You can see some eastbound delays to the left of your screen there. On Red Road itself, we've got a northbound collision after Honey Hill Drive. And on I-95 in Broward, a southbound wreck at Atlantic Boulevard. That's your latest traffic. Here's Trina with the weather.
Hugh, thank you so much. We've got some cloudy skies, but these will look better as we get into the day. We're starting out the holiday weekend, the Easter holiday weekend, on a kind of a sour note, but things will improve by and by. This is the satellite picture and showing that the reason why we have the cloud cover is we have a front moving through the area. Cold front actually is going to leave behind some cooler air tonight, so temperatures will really drop off. Cooler air, talking 50s tonight. How about the overnight? The high today, 81 degrees, partly cloudy to partly sunny skies. Here's Bob.
Two-time national champs, the Florida Gators, announced 4 of its players will not be returning for their senior year. Juniors and close friends Corey Brewer, Taurine Green, Al Horford, and Joakim Noah will all enter the NBA draft together. This is Coach Billy Donovan, who turned down a chance to take over the program at Kentucky, decided instead to stay right where he is, in Gainesville. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. See you again with more news in half an hour.
America's largest indoor flea market also has the region's largest indoor farmers market, featuring the freshest produce and just-caught seafood at shrimpy prices. Check it out. At the festival, baby. Festival Flea Market Mall, Sample Road at the Turnpike in Pompano.
Just clap, clap, clap your hands to the beat. Come on. If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, whoa. If you love it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. Wanna win it? Come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah.
Where's the best place to find everything from fine fragrances to chic shades for little itty-bitty bucks? You'll find it all and more
at the festival, baby.
Festival Flea Market Mall, Sample Road at the Turnpike in Pompano.
Watch Jackie Nesbroll at 11 on South Florida tonight.
8 o'clock now on a Friday morning. It's the 6th day of April 2007. Although I have to tell you, we're firmly into the spring section of the calendar. It does not feel like spring here in New York City. Temperatures probably in the high 30s, maybe about 40 degrees. Folks bundled up. But it's sunny and it's a holiday weekend and they're in a good mood and we thank them for stopping by.
Matt, take a look at how Lenny is dressed.
I saw it.
See, he's not ready for spring quite yet.
I just said us, man, that is a coat. That is the real deal, Lenny. Anyway, I'm Matt Lauer along with Ann Curry. Ann's here while Meredith's enjoying a little vacation time. We'll see her again next week. And coming up in this half hour, it was video that we ran about a week ago that absolutely warmed the hearts of millions of people. Remember the surprise reunion between a sailor just home from 7 months in Iraq and a 6-year-old boy in the classroom? I mean, we got an enormous response to this story. The video has become a rage on YouTube and on our own website. We're going to catch up with the Hawes family in just a little while, find out how they're all doing.
Well, it's great news to see them all together. Also coming up this morning, and in fact in this half hour, we're talking about mothers and daughters. You know, historically there's always been this sort of idea that mothers and daughters need to sort of separate a little bit so that the girls can really grow up. Well, actually, this may not be true. We're going to talk to a couple of parents and their girls who've come up with a new way for mothers and daughters to stay very close throughout those tough years.
Okay.
It sounds really amazing.
And you're, as the mother of a daughter,
yes,
you'll be paying close attention to that. Before we go any further, though, let's swing inside. Anne's with me. That means Natalie's at the news desk, and she has a look at the headlines in the morning. Hi, Natalie.
Good morning to you, Matt and Ann, and good morning once again. Thousands of National Guard members are waiting to see if they'll be the ones returning to Iraq in early 2008. The likely deployments would mark the first time full combat brigades would be sent to Iraq for a second tour of duty. It's not certain which units will be deployed, but notices have gone to troops in Ohio, Indiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Today in Iraq, a car bomb killed at least 25 people at a police checkpoint in Ramadi, and more than 30 others were wounded. A Greek cruise ship that struck rocks off the Greek island of Santorini Thursday has sunk hours after more than 1,600 passengers were rescued. 2 French passengers aboard the Sea Diamond, a man and his teenage daughter, were reported missing. The man's wife and other child were rescued. A ride on a high-speed roller coaster came to a screeching stop for 16 people in Las Vegas. They were stuck on a roller coaster at a hotel and casino Thursday after the ride unexpectedly stopped on its tracks. Firefighters had to use a ladder to rescue them. And people in northern New England are digging out from up to 1.5 feet of snow that fell Thursday. The storm left more than 180,000 homes and businesses without power. And for a California golfer, it was the dream of a long lifetime. Elsie McLean has been playing golf since her 20s, and on Thursday, she made her first hole-in-one on a 96-yard par 3, becoming the oldest golfer ever to do that. Elsie McLean, get this, is 102 years old. She is looking fabulous. I wonder what her secret is. It is now 8:03. Let's go back outside once again to Matt and Ann. Hole-in-one. Can you believe that at 102?
I am so jealous. So jealous.
I think we all are.
Still 0 in my golfing career. Natalie, thank you very much. Mr. Roker has not, we're looking for him.
I know,
he hasn't made his way back from Central Park.
No,
Al, you're still there.
Oh, I'm still here. That's right. I couldn't get the suit on. But anyway, I'll tell you, that was really exciting. A lot of fun. Let's take a look, show you what's going on. Your pick city of the day for our weather. Nice one. We love Portland, Oregon, NBC 8, News Channel 8, sunshine and warm, 75 degrees. Rest of the country, check it out. We've got some sunshine in the Pacific Northwest. We've also looking for nice little, I love the new suns we got there. Lots of sunny skies down through the southeast. They got their sunglasses on. Snow, though, in the Great Lakes and also up into northern New England. Hit or miss showers and thunderstorms down through southern Florida, and sunny skies through the Gulf Coast with snow through the western Rockies. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Al, thank you much. We had some showers and even some offshore storms overnight, but we're looking pretty good right now, even though we still have some cloud cover. This is left over from the cold front that moved through in the early night to early morning hours. Let's go to the maps. There it is on the satellite picture. It is still in motion, but moving out of our vicinity, and we'll get some better air behind it. We got those AM showers, offshore thunderstorms, cooler air in the 50s tonight. So overnight temps are really going to drop down. Easter weekend looking very good. High today of 81.
And that's your latest weather. Hey, one more time, let's show you the jetpack taking off. Eric Scott, our rocket man. Hit it. That is so cool. He got up, I'd say about 50 feet. Really pretty amazing stuff. Wow, and a perfect three-point landing. But here's the beauty of it, guys. Take a look. Anthony, take a look. You can see the Rocket Man right now walking out of the park. So, you know, I just kind of like that. You know, hey, I can fly. Oh, now I got to walk home. Wow.
Yeah, the glamour of show business, Al. Thanks very much. When we come back, the special bond between moms and their daughters and a groundbreaking support group that helps them all grow up. But first, on a Friday morning, a look at these messages.
This spring, don't miss the extraordinary true story Newsweek, The Today Show, The New York Times, and Rolling Stone are all talking about.
I'm working on the most important book of the 20th century. Howard Hughes, the billionaire?
His exclusive biography.
As soon as they find out it's a fake, they'll kill us.
David Anson of Newsweek raves it's the freshest, most surprising American movie this year.
That's an exact quote.
Deliciously smart.
That's his genius.
It's a terrific ride.
Thank you.
The Hoax. Rated R. Now playing in select theaters everywhere April 13th.
Is your cat searching for more flavors? Discover Friskies Feline Favorites, the only dry cat food with real carnation milk, chicken, seafood, and liver flavors, plus real milk. Delicious and nutritious Feline Favorites from Friskies.
It's Easter, and here come the savings at Kmart. Get pre-filled Easter baskets starting at $3.99. Or choose from a sweet selection of candy to fill your own. And save big on Wonder Kids Easter clothes. Just hop on down to Kmart.
Bathroom is still life? How about bathroom as real life? Moen. Buy it for looks, buy it for life.
Cholesterol. It can come from bow tie pasta, but also from your grandfather Bo. From that pie, creamy banana. And your mom, Juliana. A healthy diet is important. When that's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Cholesterol comes from two sources, food and family. Vytorin treats two sources. Only Vytorin helps block the absorption of cholesterol from food and reduces the cholesterol your body makes naturally. Vytorin was also proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone, more than Crestor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Tell your doctor right away about unexplained muscle pain or weakness, which may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Certain medicines or foods may increase your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. So eat right, stay active, but if that's not enough, ask your doctor about adding Vytorin, two sources of cholesterol. Treat them both with Vytorin.
What if procedures weren't necessary to get results precisely where you want them? Olay's unique Regenerist line allows you to target individual areas. There's a lifting eye serum, regenerating facial serum, and our new line-fighting lip treatment. They give you the look of beautifully regenerated skin. Precision doesn't need to be a big operation. Olay, love the skin you're in.
This is the day, today, not like any other day. This is the day, today.
For each hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you could gain 2 hours of life expectancy. This is the day to join START and the American Heart Association. Visit go.heart.org and start to get fit. This is the day to learn and live.
Welcome to Channel 1, folks.
Whoa.
Yep, Channel 1 is an HD paradise. We have a ton of high-def content, and all of it has to look amazing. It's what we do here.
Oh boy. Get tons of HD on demand. Channel 1 from Comcast.
I know a girl.
We're back now at 8:09, and this morning on Today's Woman, the special bond between mothers and daughters. A decade ago, a group of women who had little girls around 7 years old started to have regular monthly meetings to help each other celebrate life's little miracles and survive the rough patches. So how are they doing 10 years later? We'll take a look.
Hello! You're recording it!
I know. What's the meaning of mother-daughter group to you?
We're superheroes!
I mean, it's just really fun. The group is really fun.
It wasn't all just like, we're going to get together and we're going to talk about all these very serious issues. It was like, oh, let's go canoeing. And then they'd be like, So,
About periods.
you know?
At the beginning of the year, we would plan the whole year and we would say, what's the overarching thing that we feel is important for the girls to be getting right now? When they were young, we spent the whole year on the moon.
We did a little dance. That was great.
Ritualistic dance, moon cycles.
And we slammed them with all the stuff about the period.
They were sneaky about it.
I think doing sex was probably the hardest thing to do. I think for me it was really hard because it wasn't something that in my family was really talked about very openly.
It helps first because we meet just as moms and talk about the topic just among ourselves first.
I got no problem with sex. So Amy can pass that to me, and I can pass her body image.
So we can really support each other in those kinds of ways.
We also get to draw upon the experiences of all the parents, so it's not just just our mom's experience. We can sort of take other people's experiences and be able to learn from them.
But yeah, it sort of helps us, gives us more options about how to be involved.
It's sort of like if we have a potluck, everybody just brings something and inevitably there's a full meal and a dessert.
We also really support each other as women, not just as mothers. Mia and I would have some fights on the way to the group because she really didn't want to go for a few years.
I think I would threaten my mom that I'd be leaving. I'm not coming back, Mom. But, you know, it was really important to her, so I would stick with it.
I think it helped us through what was a difficult time in our relationship. Once we got there, we had fun together.
It was interesting hearing all their stories of how, they have gotten in a car with someone who they shouldn't have gotten in a car with, and was really unsafe, and then they tell you how they got out of the situation.
I feel like we were really careful when we were talking with our kids to not address it from a fear-based place.
Right. That's part of the sort of women empowerment thing, is how to have an understanding of the danger that's out there, specifically for women, where you know how to get yourself out of situations and you don't have to be walking around a victim all the time.
I'm really excited to think about what our daughters are going to do with what we've given them.
I have learned a lot about relationships just from this group. And relationships in general need communication. Conflict happens, but if you can talk about it, if you can communicate, if you can be totally open and honest, that is the key to any relationship.
Yeah, I feel like probably the most valuable thing that I got from the group was not necessarily being best friends with your mom all through the ages, that sort of thing. I feel like it's more taught a way of communication with your mom.
Therapists Sue Ellen Hymkins and Renee Schultz wrote about their findings in their book. It's called The Mother-Daughter Project. And they're here along with their respective daughters, Tiama and Mia. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Oh my gosh, this is such a breath of fresh air. And listening to those girls, what great girls you all are. But first of all, let's address this big issue, which is we're all taught that mothers and daughters are supposed to separate. This is good for the girls. What is the truth? You're a therapist, Sue Ellen. What's the truth?
Right, and I was taught that same message as a therapist, but what we discovered, both from our own experiences and also research, and my experience as a psychiatrist, is that girls actually do better when they feel a sure sense of connection with their moms. In other words, girls can develop more their own personality and who they are if they don't have to worry.
And there's a lot of support between the girls with each other. For example, I was noticing that there was actually in the videotape a girl sitting in her mother's lap at an age where we wouldn't know to see that normally. I mean, what's that about?
It's just about having fun together.
But also you're enabled to do that because if you see that, at the group, then you're going to say, well, that's okay. I can do that, right?
The group was a place where it was cool to be close to your mom. We created a little subculture.
Oh, definitely. It was really a supportive environment, and so I really got to just be close with my mom and see other girls being close with my mom.
But Mia, you said, look, I'm not sure I really want to keep coming. So what is your advice then to women at home and girls at home who say, I don't think I'm going to make this work? What's the biggest reason that got you there?
Well, I guess I just knew it was really important to my mom, and I just wanted to do
out of love, you did it.
And it was good because, it's been effective in the end. So
what's effective for you? What did you gain?
Well, my mom and I still have a relationship, which a lot of moms and daughters don't have when they get into huge fights. That's just it.
So when you have fights, do you bring it to the group? Do you talk about it?
Absolutely. I mean, a group is essential because moms can talk to other moms about the time the daughter is maybe slamming doors, yelling, "I hate you." It doesn't mean she wants to disconnect. It means you're having a difficult moment and she's in pain.
So it's helped you.
Yes, and one of the things that was different is when we were going through a difficult time, we were able to get to the group and have fun together.
Yeah,
and it didn't matter. All of what was going on just disappeared, and there we were just.
So okay, so let's make this
there.
right then for people who are at home who are thinking, I would love to do this. How often did you meet?
We met once a month as moms and once a month as moms and daughters together.
The girls ever meet together by themselves? No.
Well, they would peel off.
And how long would you meet? How long would you?
2 hours usually,
That's
maybe
it.
3.
That's
Yeah,
it.
so it's
Everything's
very
on the
efficient.
table?
It's a very efficient way to handle all this. Deal with hot issues, bond with your mothers, get support.
And potluck.
It's
just about hanging out, having fun most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, mothers and daughters having fun together.
It's awesome. Well, this is a great idea, and I hope you've started something that will spread because.
Well, and any mom can start a group.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy, and our book tells how, and the website that we have, motherdaughterproject.com, tells how to start it.
And even if a mother feels like she can't start a group, finding one other mother and daughter to do things with makes a huge difference.
Wow, Sue Ellen, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you,
all
Ann.
of you. Thank you so much, Mia. Thank you so much, and Renee. Great ideas. And the book is called The Mother-Daughter Project. And coming up next, from mothers and daughters to a father and a son. That reunion between a little boy and his father just home from Iraq. Take a look at this. We're going to be catching up with this family right after this. Yay!
It was so frustrating, like a mystery I couldn't solve.
Night after night, strange sensations in my legs kept me from falling asleep. So I had to get up and move when all I wanted to do was rest. I had restless leg syndrome. My doctor confirmed it. He said with restless leg syndrome, the symptoms usually get worse at night or in the evening when it's time to relax. And then he said something else. Requip. He said Requip would help relieve those RLS symptoms that kept me from getting to sleep. He told me what to watch for, that Requip may cause you to fall asleep or feel very sleepy during normal activities such as driving, or to faint or feel dizzy when you stand up. Tell your doctor if you experience these problems, or if you drink alcohol or are taking medicines that make you drowsy. Side effects include nausea, drowsiness, vomiting, and dizziness. Most patients were not bothered enough to stop taking Requip. Thanks to Requip, the RLS mystery is not keeping me up anymore. Ask your doctor if Requip can help put your RLS to rest.
What is happening in this small town
I could give you 100 reasons why your river's turned red.
is only the beginning of the end.
You just better prepare yourself.
The Reaping, rated R, now playing. Other lightweight vacuums are light on power. That's why Dyson engineered the Dyson Slim. With patented cyclone technology, it's the most powerful lightweight vacuum. And the only one that doesn't lose suction.
Oh, not so fast. Okay, easy on the brake.
It's the foil that can handle whatever life throws at it. Reynolds Wrap. The tougher, the better.
I'm making Jimmy Dean. Want some?
High pressure system in the early afternoon.
We'll have a high pressure system in the early afternoon.
Sunny, high in the low 80s.
It'll be sunny, high in the low 80s.
A chance of precipitation.
Okay, chance of precipitation in the afternoon.
There you go. Wow, that was fast.
Wow, that was fast.
Microwave. No way, this came out of the microwave?
Yep. No way this came out of a microwave.
The day begins with a happy breakfast. Delicious Jimmy Dean fully cooked sausage. Fresh from the skillet, taste fast.
When Walter got hurt on the job, he was out of work for almost a year.
We would have lost this house if it hadn't been for the disability insurance.
It's insurance that he didn't think that we needed.
Mutual of Omaha.
She always brings that up.
Begin today. No clump mascara? So what? Now there's new Definer Lash from Maybelline, New York. Our first clump-free that's longer, sexier. Only our shape to the lash brush and formula guarantees 0 clumps. For length defined like never before, it's new Definer Lash. It's Maybelline.
When does the best-selling car in America become the best car for America? When does an engine become an engine of change? Introducing the first ever gas-electric Camry with hybrid Synergy drive. When a car becomes more.
And this morning on today's update, a heartwarming story we first brought you last Friday. Who can forget the little boy who got a surprise of his lifetime when his sailor dad came home from Iraq? Petty Officer Bill Hawes was on a secret mission at Central Elementary School near Seattle to surprise his 6-year-old son, John.
Hey, bud.
A homecoming hug between a father and son separated for months by the war in Iraq. It was a story that touched us all here at Today. Like so many who saw the video, we all had to fight back tears.
I just don't even know what to say, right? Exactly.
For little John Hawes, it was a dream come true. Since school began in September, he and his kindergarten pals had been writing letters and sending his dad care packages in Iraq. Now, the class finally got to meet John's dad.
Yeah, do you want to introduce him to the class, honey? Do you want me to help? Nope, you go right ahead, sweetheart. What's his name? Bill. This is Bill. Boys and girls, do you remember writing letters to Bill, John's dad?
All of them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a sweet welcome home party for Hawes, complete with some of his biggest supporters.
It's great to be home. 7 months over there. It's nice to see my kids and all again.
For Julie Hawes, having her husband home was overwhelming.
It's absolutely wonderful.
The folks at Disney were so touched by the Hawes story, they rolled out the red carpet for the family with a trip to Disneyland. Meanwhile, the story has become an internet phenomenon with some 200,000 hits on YouTube and over 500,000 views on our own website, todayshow.com. It seems people just can't get enough of this heartwarming reunion. And Petty Officer Bill Hawes, his wife Julie, and their son John got up real early for us this morning. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As we said, you know, that there wasn't a dry eye in our studio when we first ran this piece of video last Friday, and we've talked about how it's been a hit on YouTube and our website. Are you surprised by the reaction this has generated?
I'm really surprised. Definitely wasn't expecting it to get this big.
Julie, whose idea was it to surprise John?
It was all my husband's idea.
And you arranged it with this crew? Where was the crew from? A local affiliate?
Actually, we don't know how they got a tip. We're still trying to figure that out, but all we know is they showed up and we were just at the right place at the right time.
And Bill, we get to see the reaction on John's face. And as I've said several times, I have an almost 6-year-old son, so it's incredibly touching for me to watch. But what was your reaction while all this was going on?
You know, I just had a big old grin on my face, you know. Just glad to see him, all of his classmates. It was just good to see everyone back again and still getting used to it.
John, you were practicing writing in your journal, and you were just having a normal day in class. What was it like to look up and see your dad standing there?
It was happy.
Yeah? You and your classmates have written him a lot of letters, I know. You've sent care packages. Has that helped you pass the time since he was gone?
Mhm.
Yeah? What did those packages mean to you, Bill?
Oh, it's always nice getting packages from back home and seeing all the progress that the kids and all have done since they started school. You know, the first set was just them learn how to do their letters and numbers, and then I got a bunch of Christmas cards and Valentine's cards, and it was really nice.
And Julie, we should mention, you know, over half the men and women serving in Iraq and Afghanistan are parents. So there are a lot of homecomings waiting to happen across this country. And I hope this reminds people all across this country of the sacrifices made by military families. What would you say to those other families waiting for a loved one to come home?
Bear with the military. It's just a part of life when you're part of the military, and it'll be over soon, and you'll have your loved one home.
Well, thanks for letting us eavesdrop on what is the happiest reunion we've seen in an awfully long time. And Bill and Julie and John, enjoy it. Happy Easter. Have a nice holiday.
You too. Thank you.
We're back in a moment on a Friday morning. But first, that video again in your local news.
Coming up on South Florida today, we're going to go shopping for custom shoes.
Not us, Kelly and Trina.
We're going to have tips for boosting your immune system, starting with what you eat.
Plus, we chat with the star of the new NBC drama, Reigns. Join us at 10.
America runs on Dunkin's iced coffee. It's refreshing and double brewed, so it's always full of rich flavor. Delicious from the first sip to the last. Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.
Lease a brand new 2007 Nissan Versa with automatic, air, and more from only $99 a month. Bill Seidel Nissan, 10500 Northwest 12th Street, just across from the Miami International Mall.
The latest upload on NBC6.net. Can't get enough of Ellen? Go behind the scenes of the show live at Universal Orlando with an exclusive interview about her sit-down with J-Lo. Never before seen footage, candid photos, and more. NBC6.net. From South Florida's news leader, this is NBC6 Today in South Florida.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Bob Mayer, live in the NBC6 newsroom upstairs to Hugh Nolan with our traffic woes. Hugh.
We are checking out a collision on westbound 595 that is blocking the ramp to southbound I-75. Reportedly a jackknifed tractor trailer there. That is going to cause real problems. We also have a southbound 95 collision causing problems before Atlantic Boulevard in Broward County. Turning to I-95 in Miami-Dade, that is still a pretty smooth ride southbound from the Golden Glades down to the 112 Airport Expressway. But we do have a hit and run reported now southbound I-95 right around 62nd Street. The Dolphin and the Palmetto both moving pretty much up to speed. Some mild congestion eastbound on the Dolphin Expressway between Milam Dairy Road and Red Road. That's your latest traffic. Here's Trina with the weather.
Hugh, thank you so much. And the weather's looking better. Weather plus Doppler radar drying out by and by. We still will see a couple of early morning showers. Most of the real heavy stuff has moved offshore and is dissipating. Let's now go to the maps because I want to show you that we had a cold front come through and the remainders of the clouds associated with that front are still in our vicinity. So that's why you're seeing the cloudy skies out there. Cooler temps starting tonight, overnight lows in the 50s, high today about 81. Here's Bob.
Thank you, Trina, and thank you for watching. See you again right here in a half hour.
We're going to replace this pair of glasses with the same exact pair bought at 4 Eyes for 40% less. Let's see if she notices the difference.
This geometric design.
Did he do this on his own?
He's just taken off all of a sudden.
This is genius. Critics are raving about The Last Mimsy. It's E.T. for a new generation. Ambitious and mind-opening.
Oh, baby!
A movie that will magnify any kid's imagination.
Whoa. Come on, let's go.
An all-family picture in the best sense. A bracing honey of a movie. The Last Mimsy. Rated PG. Now playing.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Silverado. Best when you buy it. Best when you own it. Best in the long run. And now you can get $1,000 cash back, plus $1,000 purchase bonus cash on any 2007 Silverado with eligible vehicle trade-in. This is our best truck ever. The all-new Chevy Silverado. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Honey, can we go home now? Can we go home now? Sure. Unless the glasses can perform miracles, don't pay more than you have to.
Watch Jackie Nesbroll at 11 on South Florida tonight.
Tonight, Jay's All New with Jeremy Piven and from The Office, Jenna Fisher. Plus, brand new Tonight Show correspondents go on spring break. Then on Conan, Michael Imperioli and Jim Cramer tonight.
We're back, 8:30 now on a Friday morning. It's the 6th day of April 2007. A bit of a return visit from Old Man Winter, but it doesn't matter. We've got a great spring crowd outside Studio 1A, Rockefeller Center. And they're welcoming fact, Mr. Roker, who jetted his way from Central Park. And by the way, they're listening to the music of Robin Thicke. This is a #1 song on the R&B charts right now called Lost Without You. And Robin Thicke's going to perform in our studio in this half hour. And yes, if you're wondering, he is the son of actor Alan Thicke.
You know, it's really interesting to
quite a
read
travel
some of the things that have been written about him. He actually used to write music for Christina Aguilera and also for Brandy. And what happened is at some point he's basically said, you know, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm wasting my life. You know what? I need to get going and just get on with life. And he faced his fears about it. And look at him now.
Worked out well.
Hear him now. He's a very talented guy.
All right, outside Studio 1A, I have Matt Lauer along with Ann Curry, who's in for Meredith. Mr. Roker is back, and Natalie joins us as well. And coming up in this half hour as well, behind the scenes on The Sopranos, the popular HBO show, Brian Williams takes us for a behind-the-scenes tour. Can you see Brian sitting at the bada bing?
Yeah,
That's going to be
tough
cool.
guy.
Well,
Yeah.
Brian is a Jersey boy, so there you go.
Anyway, that's coming up. We'll we'll get that behind-the-scenes look coming up in a few minutes.
Of course, the set's over in Long Island City.
Also, we're going to be talking about going green in terms of the products you use to clean your home. There is some discussion now about some of the products that we buy may be toxic and bad for our environment. So there are some ways that you can actually clean with your home that lower the toxicity in your house. We're going to find out what those are.
Okay.
Also ahead, from schoolwork to homework to trying to manage social lives, a lot of teen girls are feeling a lot of pressures nowadays to be perfect. So coming up, we're going to talk about that with a couple of experts.
Okay.
And if your teens or whoever you got in your house brings home a crowd unexpectedly, some signage dropping.
There you go.
So if you've got a crowd, you got a crowd coming in like these folks, well, we're going to show you how you can make a dinner for them just like that.
Better without the gloves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you? What do you mean?
Leg of lamb, got a curabota ham, got some Brussels sprouts, some carrots.
I'll be there for
Well,
you.
I'll be bringing some Hoppin' John.
All right, it's a deal.
Excellent.
Before we go any further, how about a check of the weather?
Oh, yeah, that too. Okay, let's check it out, see what's happening for you. For Saturday, we're looking at rain along the west coast, Northern California, Pacific Northwest, snow showers through the Great Lakes into northern New England, rain in Texas, sunny and cool in the southeast. Then Easter Sunday, we've got cold weather in the northeast, cool with showers through the Gulf Coast, showers also through the southwest, and we're looking at some showers in the Pacific Northwest as well, and of course, those dangerous falling hard-boiled eggs. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Thank you, Al. And we've got some cloud cover out there, but the skies will get better, I promise. We're going to get this shower activity that we've been seeing through the morning hours out of here. Right now, we really just have a few sprinkles here and there, and things will improve. So today, high of 81. And again, those AM showers will move out partly cloudy to partly sunny skies as we get into the afternoon hours. Boating forecast, west-northwest winds at 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4 feet. Your 6-day forecast, we should be partly sunny by the afternoon, high of 81. Cool tonight at 57.
And that's your latest weather.
I want you to walk this way because these women need to win a bet with their husbands. It says, put us on TV, and now they win the bet. So there you go. Wave to your husbands. Well, I tell you, that coming up next, Brian Williams is going to be hanging out with the Sopranos. First today on NBC.
It's back and it's better than ever. The NBC6 Telemundo 51 Health and Fitness Expo. It's time to take control of your health and embrace a healthy lifestyle. Start by visiting the GlaxoSmithKline Healthy Communities Pavilion. Get tested for high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, osteoporosis, lung function, and more. Important health screenings that won't cost you a cent. The NBC6 Telemundo 51 Health and Fitness Expo. May 19th and 20th at the Miami Beach Convention Center. Bring your family. Admission is free.
Where do visitors from all over the world come to save on the largest selection of everything from the ordinary to the extraordinary, all at teensy-weensy prices?
At the festival, baby.
Festival Flea Market Mall, Sample Road at the Turnpike in Pompano.
Just clap, clap, clap your hands to the beat. Come on.
If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, whoa. If you love it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. Wanna win it? Come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah.
Ideas.
That's what Commissioner Bill Kurdyke brings to Coral Gables. He founded Partnership to enhance city parks and preserve open space, saving taxpayers millions. He started the trolley system to keep thousands of cars off our streets at no cost to city residents. And he led efforts for new turning lanes and landscaping on Ponce de Leon Boulevard to improve traffic flow. On April 10th, keep Bill Kurdyke's ideas working for us.
America's largest indoor flea market brings you the finest in designer brands at dinky little prices. Find exactly what you're looking for.
At the festival, baby.
Festival Flea Market Mall, Sample Road at the Turnpike in Pompano.
Well, in case you haven't heard, The Sopranos are back on Sunday night, but it's also the beginning of the end. There are only 9 episodes left in the thoroughly modern mob drama, which is set across the river from us here in New Jersey. Turns out our own proud New Jersey native Brian Williams is also a big Sopranos fan, and this week here in New York, he was given a backstage tour by a member of the cast, starting with one room in particular that is crucial to the whole series.
One thing that sets this show apart is that Tony has a little secret, and his secret is he goes to therapy. And this is where the magic happens.
This is at Dr. Melfi's office.
Wow.
Have a seat.
Have a seat.
Tell
me, yeah, what's been bothering you, and have you made any strides since our last?
I have a weight problem.
We're going to the Bing.
On the bada bing.
Our tour guide through Soprano Land is Steve Schreipa, who plays Bobby Bacala on the show. And everywhere we go, on each new set, we can feel the presence of the boss.
This is where Tony meets, and this is where he conducts his business.
Tony has decided how the family's going to be run from here. He's decided who lives, who dies. You're never able to forget. These guys are killers. They're murderers.
Absolutely.
I mean, they take lives, decisions to take lives have been made in this room.
They do bad things, not just to themselves. They do bad things to a lot of people, to good people. These are bad guys. They're bad guys, but the audience chooses to like them, to root for them.
For fans of all things mob-related, there's never been anything like The Sopranos. 10 years on the air, enough Emmys to fill the trunk of a car. It's the story of an upper-middle-class mob boss who pads around the kitchen in his robe, which he also wears to go get the paper at the bottom of the driveway. Tony Soprano has 2 families, his wife Carmela and his 2 kids, and his underbosses. Add to the mix the archenemies, the feds, the shooting, his heart attack, and you begin to get the picture.
Whenever you are on his face, there's a million things going on. I guess I'm proud of all the contradictions.
And it's all the creation of a guy from Jersey. David Chase grew up in an Italian-American household, and he writes what he knows.
I have a great affection for New Jersey. I just think New Jersey has a lot of character, and I think it's a very vital place. It's a very interesting place. It's such a mix of different kinds of people, and, you know, people from New Jersey, they've seen it all.
Chase hired some serious veteran actors and some people like Bruce Springsteen's guitar player who had never acted before. Viewers have watched Tony's kids grow up on the show.
Yeah, I've known these people since I was 12, so it's more, I feel more like I want to make these people proud when I do stuff. A lot of the males are like fatherly figures to me.
And one measure of how the show has taken off, the actors on it who could do without all the attention.
What it's done to my life, it's made me very, very, very famous. And I don't know if that's the best thing that you could have in your life, the fame. The work is the work, and it's terrific to do it.
Edie Falco was mostly a stage actress before becoming Carm Soprano, and minutes after they shot the last ever scene in the family kitchen, she talked about the journey. When the lights come down for the last time and this is just plywood and no longer a kitchen, I hope you'll be proud of this body of work, but you also will go on to the next chapter in Edie Falco's life.
Right. Right. You're not supposed to have an acting job for 10 years. You know, that's not what this business is about. But it happened, and we've grown, or I'll speak for myself, I have grown deeply attached to these people. So the prospect of just walking away from this is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And it is necessary. And so that is my next difficult task.
A difficult task for viewers as well, including a certain kid from Jersey. Thank you. We'll have a statement later on, but that's it for now. For today, Brian Williams, NBC News, Queens, New York.
The Sopranos airs Sunday night on HBO. It will finish up on June 10th. And a programming note, Brian will anchor nightly news this evening from the Bada Bing. Up next, greening your cleaning. But first, this is Today on NBC.
How can I help you folks? Our car actually broke down.
Never should have gotten off the interstate.
Is that this room?
I think it is. If we stay here, we're gonna wind up like all of them.
Y'all have a great night.
Vacancy. I'm on emergency. Some people are trying to kill us.
You'll never survive, Mr. Fox.
Rated R. Everywhere April 20th.
Buying a house is probably the best investment you can make. And here in South Florida, it's a good time to buy. Interest rates are still at historic lows. Home choices have increased. And prices for many homes and condos are still favorable, even in many of the most desirable neighborhoods. When you're ready to buy, don't go it alone. Make sure you work with a registered realtor. To learn more about buying a home in today's market and finding a realtor, log on to NBC6.net/homes. Remember, it's a good time to buy, especially when you have the right realtor.
You know, Warwick's is much more than a toy store. Oh, Warwick's has lots of things to put some fun in your life. Fun you can share with your entire family. Like plastic and die-cast models, crafts and puzzles, science kits, helicopters and trains, Department 56, and of course, Thomas & Friends wooden trains. Don't forget RC boats, cars, and planes.
So you own the place, right?
Yes.
Can I live here?
No.
Yeah.
Warwick's Hobby Superstore. It's much more than a toy store.
Leading the way in Miami-Dade County, a dynamic county fueled by our many outstanding local organizations, enhancing our lives in countless ways. We salute organizations like this. Join United Teachers of Dade at our Education Summit, Saturday, April 28th. Join UTD President Karen Aronowitz, renowned speaker and author Les Brown, local educators, community and business leaders, and parents, building successful partnerships and models to enhance public education, learning from our successes. Register online at utd.org today.
Death, taxes, and cleaning are some of the things that we cannot avoid. And one woman says we don't have to do our cleaning and mopping and scrubbing using the same things that our mothers did. In fact, environmentalist Deirdre Ima says that all busy moms like Cecilia Sargenti should be cleaning with green products.
I'm one of those moms who's constantly cleaning. I wipe down the bathrooms, polish on the table, Swiffer every day. I vacuum as I go from room to room. Austin follows me and sometimes joins me in the cleaning. Are you getting all the dirt up? Yeah. I'm hoping that when Deirdre comes today, she will be able to show me how to go green in my own home to help the environment.
Knock, knock. Hi, I'm Deirdre Imus.
I'm Cecilia. Welcome.
Cecilia. Thank you. I'm here to change your life. I'm going to green your cleaning today.
My cleaning products are here.
Let's see what you have.
You said you have a child with asthma.
Yes.
A lot of these things would trigger asthma because of the chemicals in them. They're very, very toxic.
All of this we want to get rid of. You can dry mop every day if you want. See all the dirt here? White distilled vinegar. The lemon is great. Load up with warm water here. Wet mop only once a week. Work it in a figure-8 pattern back and forth. There you go. For the toilet bowl, we pour the white vinegar in here, and that's a natural disinfectant. Distilled white vinegar and the lemon juice. And you're just going to spray all around here, the rim of the toilet, and with your microfiber cloth, you're just going to wipe all of this clean. Look at that. Okay, so we're going to clean your bathroom sink. We just need baking soda and lemon juice, which I put in a spray bottle for you.
Ryan, do you want to try?
Get it all over here, make it bubble up there. See how easy that is? Yeah. So I'm going to show you the healthiest way to maintain wall-to-wall carpeting. Just sprinkle, and the baking soda will actually naturally deodorize. It'll eat up any mold or mildew that accumulates and grows in the carpeting. How do you feel about everything? Do you feel like you can handle this?
I feel like I can handle it. You showed me how much easier it will be, and most important, clean and healthy for my children.
Happy greening to you.
So it's Imus in the Morning this morning with Deirdre Imus. Her new book is called Green This, Volume 1, Greening Your Cleaning. Deirdre, good morning.
Good morning.
So,
Thank you.
Your husband seems like a tough guy. Does he go along with this program? Do you have him with the lemon juice and the vinegar in the toilet bowl?
Well, yes, he has no choice, right? I mean, but also, he is a recovered alcoholic and drug addict, and I thought it might not be good to have all these chemicals around, with the alcohol and ammonia in them.
And the thing about it is that, a lot of us have pets and we don't want all those chemicals in our house either. So you have some ideas that I've never actually heard of before. For example, you clean a copper pot with what?
With ketchup and another formula that works great, actually I think works the best, is lemon juice and table salt. All things that people have in their home. It's not expensive and you're not exposing you and your children to toxins.
Can you put this to the test? Because
sure.
I've got to
why don't you try this one with the ketchup, and I just dip this in a little water. I use these microfiber cloths.
Do I use lemon juice on this one or just the ketchup?
You do the one with ketchup and I'll do the one with the salt and the lemon juice. And you could do copper sinks, all your copper cookware.
Boy, if it doesn't to your cookware, what's it doing to your stomach is what I want to know.
Exactly, and a lot of these metal cleaners that are on the market are very toxic and have carcinogens. Isn't that beautiful?
I don't know if you can see this on TV, but there's a big distinction right here.
Yes.
You can see that. Wow.
And you can really buff it up. See how well this is coming out too. Just
then you just rinse this afterwards.
And then you just rinse it with warm water and dry it. See how? Look at that.
Look at that.
And you don't have to use all those toxic metal cleaners.
Wow. And so then you just rinse that afterwards. That wasn't hard. You've got to scrub a little harder, probably.
Not really. No, because with those metal cleaners, which have all those neurotoxins and carcinogens in them, you have to scrub just as hard. And this way, you're not exposing yourself to any of these toxins.
Okay, let's move over here because I want to show some people some of your other ideas.
Ironing. Everyone, with starches are very toxic, a lot of the traditional ones. So I make a linen spray, and I talk about it in the book, where you just mix, everyone has like a gallon of distilled water.
Right.
You have to use that in your iron anyway, so you fill that up with a little bit of the essential oil, about 20 drops in a bottle like this, with a dollop of your shampoo or your laundry liquid.
Shampoo?
Because you need that as a binder, like a surfactant to make the oil and water stick.
And a little bit of oil.
And can you smell this?
Yeah, I just got sprayed by it. It was real. It smells great.
It's all not toxic. It
smells wonderful.
Lavender, and you can iron your pillowcases and your.
And how about your shirts?
Your shirts.
It will make it really starchy, or not starchy, but stiff.
See how it's taking all the wrinkles out, and then it smells fresh. And these are organic fabrics for the bedding. But think about it. If you're sleeping on these on your pillow, why would you want to have chemicals that you're breathing and ingesting and absorbing?
I should probably, on that point, the Consumer Specialty Products Association issued a statement saying the manufacturers of traditional cleaning products carefully select ingredients and evaluate products to ensure that they are safe and effective. These products should be used safely and effectively for many years, or have been actually used safely and effectively for many years.
Right.
Consumers should understand that these products marked as natural or green are not automatically better than their traditional counterparts. So, this is from Stephen Cathcart, the president of the organization. So, from their point of view, they're obviously saying that this stuff is safe. What's your thought about what they say?
Well, it's completely false, and I'd like them to prove that, because how can those chemicals be safe? We know from the Environmental Protection Agency that a lot of those traditional cleaners commonly contain the carcinogens and the neurotoxins, endocrine disruptors, all these things that are very harmful to us, the environment, and especially our children.
Well, I want you to come back and show us more of your tips. Deirdre,
I'd love to.
Lovely to speak to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
You're a good ironer, too.
Thank you.
Anyway, we've got much more coming up. But first, this is Today on NBC.
You feel so good.
Just clap, clap, clap your hands to the beat. Come on.
If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, whoa. If you love it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. Wanna win it? Come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you want it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah. If you play it, come and get it. The Oz got it. Fun, yeah.
Buying a house is probably the best investment you can make. And here in South Florida, it's a good time to buy. Interest rates are still at historic lows. Home choices have increased. And prices for many homes and condos are still favorable, even in many of the most desirable neighborhoods. When you're ready to buy, don't go it alone. Make sure you work with a registered realtor. To learn more about buying a home in today's market and finding a realtor, log on to nbc6.net/homes. Remember, it's a good time to buy, especially when you have the right realtor.
Hey, buddy, I know it took like 4 weekends, but the treehouse is finally done. And it's awesome. It's got this great, rope ladder, and it's totally cool.
Does it have leather seats?
What?
Leather seats?
Well, no, but it's got this nice...
Got any threes? Go fish. 10-speaker stereo system?
No.
A DVD player?
No.
I think we're good in here.
The Toyota Sienna.
Okay.
Now with available cash back and the Touring Edition discount, get $2,500 in total savings on the 07 Sienna. Toyota, moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evolution of Robin Thicke.
Toyota Concert Series on today. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. Toyota, moving forward.
For part of his life, he's probably been known as the son of Alan Thicke, the star of the classic comedy Growing Pains. But now Robin Thicke is a star in his own right. His sophomore album, The Evolution of Robin Thicke, has gone platinum. He's even got a single at the top of the R&B charts. Ladies and gentlemen, Robin Thicke.
Oh, baby. Ooh. Oh, darling. Oh, baby. I'm lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Tell me how you love me more and how you think I'm sexy, babe. That you don't want nobody else. You don't want this guy. You don't want that guy. You wanna touch yourself when you see me. Tell me how you love my body and how I make you feel, babe. You wanna roll with me. You wanna hold with me. You wanna stay warm and get out of the cold with me. I just love to hear you say it. It makes a man feel good, baby. Tell me you depend on me. I need to hear it. I'm lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Baby, you're the perfect shape. Baby, you're the perfect way. Treat me like my birthday. I want it this way. I want it that way. I want it. Tell me you don't want me to stop. Don't stop. Tell me it would break your heart that you love me and all my dirty. You wanna roll with me. You wanna hold me. You wanna stay warm. You know what you want with me. I just love to hear you say it. It makes a man feel so good, babe. Lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? You will tell me every morning. Ooh, all right, babe. Ooh, yeah. Oh, baby. Ooh, oh, darling. All right, right. Lost without you. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, 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 I do. Can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Ooh, lost without you, 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 lost without you.
Thank you.
The CD is called The Evolution of Robin Thicke. Robin, thanks very much. We're back to talk to Robin in a little while. But first, on a Friday morning, we're back after these messages and a look at your local news and weather.
A promise of better lives through better patient outcomes. A commitment to the most advanced technology. And above all, a mission to put people first. Holy Cross, the only hospital in Broward County named one of America's 50 best. Holy Cross Hospital, where high-touch healing meets high-tech care. For a physician referral, call 866-4HC-DOCS.
The road to happiness. There's a lot of temptation out there.
In my hand is a little piece of heaven, and it's practical.
Nice. Come on, $9 grand. This won't make you happy. It'll end up buried in your closet. Put your money in an orange savings account. It won't go out of fashion, then you'll feel better about yourself. $9 grand.
Sorry.
High interest, no fees, no minimums. Next thing you know, there's more money than when you started. And you're right back on the road to happiness.
NBC 6 Weather Plus Doppler Radar, brought to you by the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida.
And we've got breaking news for you. Good morning, I'm Bob Mayer. A tractor trailer has jackknifed on the on-ramp to I-75 from 595 westbound. A major traffic backup has ensued. You can see the picture. Let's go upstairs to Hugh Nolan for the rest.
Yes, it is a serious mess. Westbound 595, as you said, to the ramp to southbound I-75, jackknife tractor trailer, and also that box truck to the rear involved as well. We understand they will be closing the ramp again to clear this mess. For the moment, just a single lane passing by slowly on the shoulder. Delays are building quickly. You'll be tapping the brakes from Nob Hill Road. It'll be locking up before you get to Flamingo. If you need to get on to southbound I-75, you may want to do it from Griffin Road to the south or even Sunrise Boulevard to the north. It's worth a little extra driving to avoid this one. That is the latest traffic. Trina?
All right, Hugh, thank you so much. And we're looking outside where conditions are getting a little bit better. We've had some very cloudy skies this morning. We had a front move in, and we're going to see the sun break through later on this afternoon, but we still got to get more of this front out. Let's go to the maps right now. I want to show you where the front is. There you see the front. It's on the move. This is a composite picture of the last 12 hours, so things aren't quite as bad as they look. We've seen some AM showers, offshore thunderstorms. Cool air gets in here tonight. Sunny Easter Sunday today, high of 81. Here's Bob.
A Pompano Beach neighborhood is on alert this morning after police say a man violently attacked and raped a woman. Take a look at the sketch now of the man who investigators say sexually assaulted a 51-year-old woman at the Island Club Apartments in Pompano Beach Saturday. The man apparently forced his way into the woman's apartment and raped her. She managed eventually to escape and call police. If you have any information, please call Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS. An international global warming conference approved a report today warning of dire threats to the earth and to mankind. We'll have reports on that on the 10 o'clock South Florida Today program. Thanks for watching.